Greetings, hello, welcome on in, Unoptimized Fool from the closet. Glad you could be here. Let's talk about the best thing that's ever graced this game, Mythic Plus. Just kidding, it's okay. Now, there has been some changes to Mythics. Now, it's not a huge systematic changes, but Mythic 2s and Mythic 3s have seen a change to the death penalties inside of those runs. There's no more of them, right? There's no death penalty. So if you die, there's no extra seconds taken off the clock. Now, obviously, where's Mythic 1? Well, Mythic 1 is Mythic 0, by the way. Just to let you know, right? It starts at +2. Just in case you didn't know, guys, okay? Let's relax. And obviously, 4s and up will still have that death penalty. Now, why do this? Now, obviously, they didn't really give an explanation. But they are testing around with stuff, and this comes out after they sent out that kind of survey asking people if Mythics would go to a death, X amount of deaths per run, like you only have 10 deaths per run. Would that be cool versus the timer, right? So they're trying to play with different Mythic situations, and it seems like they're implementing this at the lower level. Now, they've implemented some changes to the upper levels recently, right? Because obviously, if you complete all 12s, your keystone does not deplete past 12s anymore. But obviously that's at the higher end, right? I think the minimum is 12, I believe, or maybe 10, but still it's high-end keys. And now this is 2 to 3. So again, if you're in a 2 or a 3, obviously we're all starting off in 2s and 3s when we first start this season, but eventually we're going to go pretty fast into it. But why would they want to change this? Well, I think because, they want to get the casuals into high-end content. Right now, I think delves are a good stepping stone of obviously there's still a big giant leap into mythics from delves, but at least that leap from heroic dungeons to mythics is a little bit smaller now. And I think that they were dying a lot. I suspect that they were dying a lot inside of these 2s and 3s. And again, 2s and 3s have always been chaotic because you have a big mix of people who are too arrogant, and then you have a mix of people who have no idea what they're doing. So that mix is like water on a grease fire. It just doesn't work. Okay. Now, obviously, people dying over and over, learning the mechanics. Because again, some people going into 2 or 3 don't really know the mechanics. So that happens, unfortunately, guys. You guys know that. I don't have to tell you. And they were dying and dying, then they would break the key. And then these casuals are like, man, this sucks. I can't, time a key. I'm not going to do mythics. I'm just going to stick to delves. And obviously, Blizzard wants all their players to indulge in every system they have, right? So I think what this is doing is kind of eliminating, okay, you have 40 minutes to do this dungeon. Die as many times as you need to. Do it, right? And I think that'll take off some of the stress. Hopefully the gateway to get into mythics, to get that addiction, that goblin mode in you, hopefully will go down and a lot more people will be indulging. Now, obviously, once they get the 4s, that's where the big boys are playing, right? So again, I like this change. I think it lowers the bar of entry a bit. Again, the super goblin boys are gonna be like, we're making people soft these days. I think it's a good way, because I think there was a big bar of entry for the super casuals. I think this is a super casual move. I don't think this is benefiting the goblins of WoW and the medium players of WoW. I think this is just for the super casuals that can only do 1 or 2 runs a week and want to be as enjoyable as possible. Because why would they want to do 2 runs a week when it's kind of a slog fest, with all the deaths, and they wouldn't do it at all? They would just stop doing it because they only have so many hours to play per week, right? They have 2.5 kids, a wife, and a job 9 to 5, right? Work in the office, right? So I think this is a good change, and I appreciate it from Blizzard. So keep going, Blizzard. Keep cooking. Keep changing up the ecosystem. I want to see Mythics evolve. They've been kind of stagnant up until this point, so I'm glad to see some innovation here. So, and again, I'm not going to, I don't know if this is going to be good or bad. I don't see any negatives to this. I don't see any negatives, but if you see some negatives, let me know. But guys, Unoptimized Fool from the closet. Glad you could be here. I'll see you guys next time.